welcome to the next episode of Music Design. We'll be spotlighting today on one of Breath of the Wild's most famous pieces, Hateno Village. This song perfectly captures a bright and happy atmosphere while also being very chill. Hateno Village was composed by Yasuaki Iwata, and despite being one of the newer composers for Nintendo on staff at that time, he brought the right ambient sound to the game's environment, and he also likes to use many unique ethnic instruments, as we'll see in this track. Let's take a look. Hateno Village is a slower tune, right, at about 58 beats per minute. And this helps the composer to slowly develop the new instruments as they come. You'll also notice that this song is not very long, only about 1 minute and 39 seconds before the loop point. The instrumentation is quite sparse, as you can visually see. Only the percussion and the cellos will be a constant instrument throughout. There are 3 distinct sections that feature different melody instruments. The first section will feature the violins, the marimbas, and a harp with pizzicato strings. The second section will feature the bagpipe, and then lastly the third section will mix both the solo violin and the piano together. Starting in section 1, the percussion has a very subtle but random beat to it. Notice that there's 4 different percussion patterns before they repeat in the following section. If we take a look at the percussion pattern, it's made up of high strikes and low strikes to make this unique rhythm. The shakers, however, are very consistent and end with this long shake. Now, for the first strings, the deep cellos provide all the bass the song needs. The cellos are played in pizzicato. This gives the song a more fun and playful vibe. Inside the patterns, the notes are usually played in groups of 3 and outline the chord progression. The other prominent strings are the violins, which literally only play the slow trill per section. First of all, there's an effect of fading in and out. Accomplish that through this volume automation. I also used both the solo violin and a violins ensemble. And if we go into this pattern, the trilling notes will be played in an interval of a third. Now, if I play through all these patterns, you'll notice that they steadily ascend upward throughout. The marimbas are perhaps the most memorable parts of Hateno Village. Marimbas have a soft sound that's perfect for laid-back town music like this. I achieved this sound by combining both a marimba and a kalimba together. One hallmark of the marimbas here is the trilling, which reflects the violin trilling too. Just notice the simplicity of the chords and notes. There's plenty of open space and a consistent rhythm. The second half of this section also has some interesting chord movement. The last instrument in section 1 is the harp, which is doubled with a strings pizzicato. The main function of the harp is to fill in the space when the cellos are silent. Think of the harp as the counterpoint to the cello. Let's take a listen to section 1 with everything together. With section 2, the chord progression restarts again, but now features our main melody instruments, the bagpipes. Yasuaki Iwata likely included this Irish instrument to give a homely town feeling and an atmosphere of the outdoors. There's a number of unique things about this bagpipe melody. First is that there is this main melody line, and then the counter melody played by a different bagpipe. Listen to these two together. Next, there's a delay on this main melody bagpipe. Listen and you'll notice that a delay will sound a second after I play this note. And I also doubled both the melody and counter melody lines with an additional bagpipe to fill out the sound space. So if you look up here, you'll notice that there's 4 bagpipes in total. The last thing to note is the use of ornamental notes, which are the very small notes that you see that move into the next note. Ornamentals are very important to create a sense that someone is actually playing this bagpipe, and is frankly more interesting to listen to. Now listen to this section combined. Section 3 is marked by the wonderful solo violin, and it actually begins slightly before this section to transition us. Notice the red hills inside this pattern here. This is the vibrato, used delicately for these longer sustained notes. Crafting a melody like this is not as difficult as one might think. Generally, most composers stick within a certain key when writing out melodies. For example, the key in this section is C Lydian, basically a C major with an F sharp. Then it's all about improvising and seeing what notes and rhythms fit best. This melody is awesome because while it does generally use the same rhythm, the notes, as you can see, steadily climb higher until you reach the highest note at the end. The piano is the last addition to the song, played very calmly with these lush jazzy chords, featuring the major sevenths predominantly. Now just take a listen to both the violin and the piano together. Alright, now let's put everything together for section 3. Hateno Village is no doubt one of the most memorable and best written pieces in Breath of the Wild's score. Yet there's nothing complex, nor are there too many instruments. Surprisingly, at most you'll have 6 instruments playing at the same time. Hateno Village is definitely a song that fits perfectly within the atmosphere of the game. Thank you so much for making it this far. I would like to thank all my current Patreons who have supported music design, including Kevin Huin, Sam Hanley, Manish Corona, and Alan Brown. I can't wait to catch you all in the next episode of Music Design.